Yo, what's up, LA Sparks fans? Bitter-sweet finish to this WNBA season for the Sparks as they pick up a victory to close things out. 68-51 over the shorthanded Minnesota Lynx. The Sparks do it to bring home a final W as they look to build towards next season. Great win. Great ball game. I can't wait to give you a great show here with LA Sparks Weekly. We are back. Michael Matthew here, ready to talk about this finale, this final win of the season for the LA Sparks as they look towards next season. But you got to do what you got to do. You got to finish it off strong, and they did exactly that on the road against the Minnesota Lynx. I am Michael Matthew, but I got me a special guest with me. My guy that's sitting right here across from me, Kahari Jones, journalist representing Chicago, Illinois. So we just saw the Sparks pick up this victory.
Yes.
What was your thoughts on the Sparks getting this final win to finish off the season?
I felt like it was super important for them to go out with this energy, go out on top, you know what I'm saying, as they would like to call it, you know what I mean? I think for them, it was cool to just, like I said, go out with a high momentum, just prepare for the next season. So them getting this win, Dearica breaking records.
Man,
you know what I'm
shout out
saying?
to her,
yeah,
man.
Absolutely. You saw Rakia do numbers tonight.
Yep.
I felt like we got a solid foundation of what, as we were talking about, of what we can build on for next season.
Yeah, and shout out to Dearica. She was able to break the record for the most points in a season by a Los Angeles Sparks player. Whenever you pass Lisa Leslie in anything,
Yeah.
it has to be applauded and shown love. But Dearica, she was able to finish strong, 20 points, 7 rebounds. Just, looking at the totality of her season, I'm hoping that she gets Most Improved Player of the Year because for a good while she was up there in some of those MVP talks, even though the team weren't winning, but she was just playing so amazing.
Phenomenal.
What's your thoughts on the way that she was able to finish her season today?
I'm proud of Dearica. Just seeing all the things that she went through, the off-the-court things that she had to go through, her being a mom of 2, a single mom of 2 at that.
Yep.
And just everything else that she was dealing with, being a leader, learning how to be a leader again. They want her to be that vocal leader again. And she's addressed that, hey, I want to learn how to be a vocal leader. When you think about all those things that she had to deal with and that she was growing through, I feel like that was a successful season for her. And I'm happy to see Dearica, like I said, get what she deserves.
Yeah, and, shout out to her being that type of leader that she became this year because the players respect her. They call her Mama D.
Yeah.
Because, she bring that motherly love
to
the young players while they were learning through some hard times this season. But, it's good to just walk away with this win after so many hard-fought games at the end of the season here to carry this over. If I'm Coach Kurt Miller, I'm going in the locker room say, hey, we 1-0 for next season.
Yeah.
We're going to take this energy, say we're 1-0. We're going to take this to the next year, and we want to make sure that we build on this as they try to build out their team. But you spoke of Rakia. Rakia was able to finish a strong rookie season. Clearly, so far, the third best rookie in one of the better drafts in the history of the WNBA, especially when you look at Caitlin Clark, you look at Angel Reese. Rakia, 19 points, doing what she does. Man, she can get so much better, which is crazy. What's your thoughts on seeing her finish her season strong and ball out in this victory for LA?
Well, like you said, I think that like everyone's been saying pretty much all season that if it was any other year, Rakia is the clear rookie of the year.
Yes.
You just got the popularity around Angel and Caitlin and all the other things going on. But for me, I'm still glad that the Sparks got her out of all those players because, you know, she's in a position to develop, to continue to grow. She's in she's in the right fit. You know, Rakia, just the way that she grew so fast throughout this season and just her ability to learn, that took me by surprise as well. A lot of players they don't take it serious enough, you know what I'm saying, to really lock in. Like, she locked in, like, hey, you know, a lot of these, you know, from what I'm seeing, a lot of women they try to focus more inside their brand. They're not in the gym like that. She's in the gym, she's working, you can tell, like, and she had to develop, and now she wants to take these things to another level with her voice. So seeing Rakia developing and then what she's going to be in the future is scary.
And just to see what she came back, like, you go to the break and you like, who's going to return with that month off a little better? She was one of those players. She was shooting the ball much better. She was more confident on her moves, getting to her spots and things like that. And then defensively, Coach been talking about it. She's actually giving some good effort defensively and just growing. My new nickname for her is Lady Buckets because she go out there and get buckets. And she was doing that, you know, averaging about 17, 18 points after the break, and showing that I am not only a player that's going to be here in the future, I am a pillar to build around with this team to get LA back into some competitive hoop. But, you know, they were able to play some really good defense tonight, only allowing 51 points, which is big. And I think that's another thing that's a calling call for the future. Is like, hey, we want to play defense. We want to lock people up. And we saw them flying around, getting deflections and blocks and stuff like that. What was your thoughts on their defensive performance tonight? Even though the Lynx were shorthanded without some players, you still got to play and beat who's in front of you. So what's your thoughts on their defense?
I think Ray and Rakia set the tone on defense. You know, because they really take it personal. You know, you could tell for them they take it personal, like with that one-on-one matchups. Rakia came out and said it. She vocalized that. Like, she said, "Hey, I'm tired of getting cooked." You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to take pride in my defense, and that's what I love to see. Yeah, like, I'm not going to let my man drop 15 to 20 on me constantly every single night. It's just not going to happen. So when I see that, that's what things that fires me up. Those are the franchise players that you want to see, especially things that you want to see from the younger players coming up. You know what I mean? The younger stars. So you could tell she's going to be an example on both sides of the ball. Like, it was one play today, she came out of nowhere and just swatted it. You know. So I like that.
I think that's important what you're saying, is because in today modern basketball, guys and girls, that everybody's focused on buckets. And for someone like Rakia to say, hey, I need to play defense, I need to lock up. We saw Cam before the ACL injury, already one of the better defenders in the W, so you're excited about that. Ray, some games she's knocking out shots, some games she's not, but whether she's making shots or not, her effort defensively, where she's getting deflections, stay in front of her player that she's guarding and helping rebound, and she had like 6 rebounds tonight. Like, that's very important for a call for this team. So we're seeing some things falling into place that you're hoping that they can build into more. But then veterans are going to be important as well. Kia Nurse, she finished strong with 12 points, 4 for 5 from 3. I wish she was a little more consistent this season, but when she's knocking down shots, she's tough. What did you see from Kia Nurse in this win?
What I saw from Kia Nurse in this win, like you said, I just saw her shots falling tonight. You know what I'm saying? I would like to see her make better passes, sometimes the right passes, but when her shots falling, I feel like she's the perfect player for this team. But like I said, I just want to see more consistency from Kia Nurse.
Yeah, and they were able to protect the ball. You know, I always say, long as they can stay under 20 turnovers, they have a chance. They had 18 tonight, so it gave them a good chance. But kudos to Kurt Miller, man. We got to show him love.
Yes.
Because he has been able to keep the girls locked in. He has been able to make sure that this locker room is a tight-knit group. We talked about it all throughout the year, DJ and I or whatever guest, that coach came into the year and said, these are the type of players I want around me. I don't want no big egos. I don't want people who are going to be extra and try to cause a scene. I want players that I know that are going to be locked in, and they're not too locked into themselves. They understand about team, whether we win or not. They're going to be on some together type stuff, and that's what we saw this year. We see the connection of Ray and Rakia, how close they've gotten. Every time you listen to them talk, they talk about how even though we're losing and going through this, we're still sticking together and fighting this. And they always say they love this group. They love this group, and I think that's kudos to Kurt Miller with his coaching job and that staff to keep this team tight knit and together, even though they were suffering. How much praise do you got for Kurt Miller for what he was able to pull his team through?
A lot of praise for Kurt. Shout out to Kurt. Just like I said, for the things that he was had to go through as well. In a rebuild, and he's used to major success. You know what I'm saying? So for him to be able to take this young team, try to figure it out. We all were trying to, like as he's growing, we were watching Coach Clark closely, like, hey, put this person in, but his ability to adapt, making sure the locker room was good, keeping the vibe straight, listening to his players. A lot of players that came out personally and said, hey, I like the energy I have with Kurt. I'm able to. He's an open book. I can go in there and talk to him. Like I said, like when Lexi had that situation where she wanted to play point. Even though we might not have agreed with it, but his ability to be open to that. So a lot of plays from Kurt. I shout out to Kurt. I do want to see him build with this team.
Believe me, I was somebody who was like, get him out of here.
No, me too. No, literally.
Voice.
No, literally.
But
me too.
as the year went on, I kind of was like, okay, I can see why people
because
playing
he keeps
for
because
him.
he keeps the I like the
he's
way
a player's coach. Yeah, he's a player's coach, and he likes to listen to his players and try new things and try different things. I think this year has really helped him as a coach to get developed, because last year you kind of saw some things he was kind of stuck in his ways. This year he was more open to trying new things, trying new looks with new players and giving them opportunities that you saw. Like, hey, even with 35 years in the game, you can continue to grow, and that's what he's doing. So I just like what he's doing. I believe that you have to give him another chance. I don't think Reagan, the GM, is going to let him go, but she's going to give him every opportunity. I'm hoping that they can somehow make sure they get this first overall pick, which will be Paige Buckets, which will be needed. And I think with Coach Kurt Miller, man, it can do a lot of things for this team, man. But it's a big-time win. Great work by the ladies. They were able to finish off strong, and that's what they talked about. We want to finish strong. They did exactly that. So, Sparks fans, you can actually be happy finishing this season off as they take home their final win of the season in their final game, 68-51 over the Minnesota Lynx. Of course, we got you covered. Players are coming up, Rakia and Dearica. Then we have Coach Kurt Miller to talk about the big win here with LA Sparks Weekly.
And these are the breaks. These are the breaks. You know what it is.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by Jesse Brown of Keller Williams.
Season. We're officially off the clock as soon as we're done. Record Deck Media
He
Room.
about to cry.
Don't ask any
Record
questions.
Deck Media Room.
Yeah, he about to cry. He's gonna cry when he can't see me every day.
I think he's gonna feel a lot better.
Recording in
Aren't you gonna
progress.
cry? He already cried.
No.
Yes, you did.
No crying
Yes,
today.
you did.
You.
There's no rookies in this room.
No rookies anymore.
It only goes downhill from here.
Never. Up to babes.
All right, we'll get started with opening statements.
Fun way to end the season. Proud of these guys to keep competing all the way through game 40 when the season hasn't gone exactly like we would like it to have. But they came in and prepared for this one last game and played hard and played confidently. That's our first double-digit win of the season. So really proud of them on how we defended, held them under 30% shooting for the game. Big shout out to Dearica becoming the single season scoring record holder now in Sparks history. Just a tremendous year on and off the court for us. Did so much for us and can't be more proud. Rakia continued to have a big game tonight, scored the basketball well to finish up a tremendous rookie season and really excited about what the future holds for Rakia. And then Keo joining us tonight hit some big threes, especially when we got a little stagnant in that at late moments, hit some really big threes. And from what I was told, didn't have a really good shoot around. So you came back and had
You mean my warm up?
your warm up.
Yeah, I missed a lot of shots.
Hey, got
Usually
him.
that happens though. You miss
Missed a lot of shots, made a lot of shots. So proud of Kia stepping up. Big final game from the arc for us. So really excited. I'm soaking wet. It was a fun locker room after that. Again, it's been a season that has been a lot of fun to coach this team despite some of the results.
All right, we'll get started with questions for players first. We'll start with Alexa.
Hi all. First of all, thank you for everything this season. It was great to cover you all. Rakia, I was hoping you could just take us through just your initial thoughts now that the season's officially over. What do you think you'll take the most from this experience, both on the court as your growth as a player, but also off of it with your new coaching staff and teammates?
Yeah, I feel like on the court, I'll just, keep growing. I just want to tighten up on honestly every aspect of my game. I feel like I've grown a ton within a season. I feel like I really got serious about defense midway through the season. So those are things that I'm just going to continue to sharpen and things like that. And then off the court, just what my teammates and my coaches taught me, just being a sponge this whole year, just the little angles and, the little nuggets that everyone gives me each and every day. It helps a ton. And I'm just going to take that with me forever and just hope it continues to grow me as a player.
Thank you.
Sabrina.
First for Rakia, how many years are you going to let Dearica have this scoring record?
What is the scoring record? Like, what's the number?
I don't actually know what the full number is, but she averaged almost 20 points this year, right?
Sorry.
We'll get back with you on that. But realistically, 1 year, if it's a low thing, I don't know if it's like, high or low. So we're going to see.
I'm
691.
I'm more proud of the 8 rebounds tonight for Dearica. Sometimes doesn't always put that number up. So
What?
or Rakia putting up that 8 rebounds.
Really, that's not used to me from here.
I mean, Rakia.
Oh yeah, I can do that. I feel like I can get that.
Okay, and then just quickly for Kia, I know you're not like a super veteran in this league, but like, how have you enjoyed this role this season of getting able to mentor, Rakia and Ray and the younger players on this team?
Yeah, it's been really fun, honestly, getting up there in the years nowadays. So now it's, Rakia tells me I'm old once a day pretty much, but I'm grateful to have the opportunity to work with them, and they're sponges and they do a great job of coming in and learning every single day. But their energy that they bring into the locker room or onto the court, shoot around practice, that's been what's been so impressive to me, is just being up and being positive throughout the whole season. And so I'm grateful to have the opportunity to be a veteran and a real talkative veteran this year, as opposed to my just work by example.
Thanks.
Infanity.
What's up, guys? Mike Kell here. This question is for you, Rakia. I think I found the nickname for you on the show. But for just looking back at your draft night, when you think about your journey this year as a rookie, was it all that you thought it would be? what were like the high points for you, and what were the difficult things that you had to push through with?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know how I thought it would have been, but it was tough, but I feel like the good outweighed the toughness. I had its ups and its downs, but being here with the people, just such good people, it makes things better. It makes things easier. After a loss, we never split up. We always stayed together. And that means a lot because I feel like anyone else, probably the locker room would have been divided, and we really just stuck together. So that meant a lot. But from draft night to now, it's just like a blink of an eye, and it's just like your season is over. So it's really crazy, but I wouldn't trade my rookie season for anything. Honestly, I feel like the adversity built me into a stronger person. Opposed if it was just given to me, I feel like I really worked for everything this season, and I'm just gonna continue to grow.
This question is for Kia Nurse. Can you elaborate on just like your overall thoughts on the season, and how was it being a veteran and watching some of your rookies grow?
It honestly was one of the best parts of the season for me, was watching kind of the development of obviously Rakia, Cam, for the short period of time that we had with her. And the season itself, I think Rakia nailed it on the head there. The locker room was great. The girls were great. We got along really well. And it was a growing season, and it's something that we knew. And as the season went on, I thought there was things that, even though on the outside, some of the media might not know, we were working on in practice that we got better at. And we could see that on film going into those next games. That's a big piece of it as well for us too, just individually and as a team collectively. When we focus on something in film, the next day, can we get it right? And there were a lot of times where we did. And so that was something that was really fun moving forward, and a good building block for this to go into a really bright future.
And then my last question is, can you just talk about how Kurt was able to bring that energy too as well? Like how did he do as a coach? You know what I mean? Just like I said, keeping the locker room together despite the record. You guys are still having fun. We saw a lot of chemistry with you guys. Like I said, off the court.
Yeah, he's not really like an energetic person at all. Doesn't come into the huddles and yell. Doesn't really get fired up about things. So no, it's all the opposite.
Yeah.
He brings that energy. He's one of those coaches you can talk to. We can go at him a little bit. He goes at us a lot. And that's something that you have to build those connections and build those relationships with coaches, and it doesn't always happen. So I'm grateful for having that with you. And me, I love a fiery coach. So we got along.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Hey, yo.
Getting weather here.
All right, we'll get started with questions for Coach. We'll start with David.
Hey, Coach. David Yapkowitz here. You've talked a lot about this season being a build, and I feel like, in seasons like this, we often talk about, player development and how they've grown from beginning of the season to now. But we don't really mention coaches at all. And I'm just curious as to, in what ways do you feel like you may have grown as a coach this year?
Yeah, coaches are sometimes creatures of habit, and what has worked. And obviously, I've had a ton of success in this league. But obviously some of the things that are my comfort zone didn't always match with this personnel and team. So I think you always got to be open-minded. You've always got to be adapting. I thought, how we utilize Rakia when we got her permanently to the 3 was an area that we were just, learning her game. I was just starting to learn Cam and where to put her in position to be successful. 15 games in, we were tweaking and always trying different things with Cam, and we were just starting to feel comfortable when her injury happened. So, it was a year of a little bit out of my comfort zone of not being able to defend certain ways with this team that maybe I did with my Connecticut teams, but finding a way to help them get better at what I thought matched their tendencies and their strengths more. So those things, and then, learning to, learning through the adversity. Again, I love to build. I know that there's speed bumps in the builds, but, this year was filled with adversity of injuries and illnesses, but the losses compiling was something I'm not used to. And so, learning and growing through that adversity and how to come to work the next day with still a positivity and a growth mindset for this team was really important. I had multiple new staff members. I had fun really, educating and teaching them how we wanted to play. In turn, they could turn around and then educate and teach our players. So, again, I've been in a lot of winning locker rooms that weren't near as fun as what this locker room is. And that's not coach speak. That's not an exaggeration. I just really enjoyed this group through even the frustrations and the adversity this year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Infanity.
Hey, Coach, Michael Matthew here, LA Sparks Weekly. When looking at Rakia, she came in early the year. She was a player you were bringing off the bench to becoming what she was able to do after the All-Star and Olympic break. Just seeing her grow and rise so fast into the player that she is. How was that for you? And what things that are you looking for her on the court that you think that she should specifically attack to really take her game to the next level during the offseason?
Yeah, again, when you look back at training camp, we were playing Rakia more at the 4 than the 3. We were getting her reps at the 3, but mostly 4 because we were going to be without Azare for half the season. Lee was, only beginning her second year, had been out of the league, so we didn't have a lot of post depth. And then 5 games in, or 12 days into the season, Rakia was inserted into that starting lineup. So she was out of that starting lineup for the first 12 days. But by then already the minutes were flipped, and now all of a sudden she was playing mostly 3 with some spot minutes at the 4. And as she grew into the season and we got Azare back and we were playing her totally at the 3 position, you could just see her game take off and become more and more comfortable. Hats off and a credit to how hard she worked behind the scenes in season to continue to improve. A real shout out to my assistant coaches working hard with her in film and trying to teach her some of the things that would help her be successful. But, the league got to see a rising star in this league. She'll end up averaging, just under 30 minutes a game. She's going to end up averaging nearly 13 points a game. So just a really, really special first year out. And again, she's only scratching the surface.
Coach, can you just talk about just your experience this season, coaching these young rookies? And like you said, you guys have had a lot of fun in this year, despite the loss. And you said you've been in some winning situations where it wasn't as fun, but this year you had more fun than any of your other years. So can you just talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, again, Cameron is someone that brings a lot of light and joy to our locker room, another young player with a bright future. And unfortunately, she didn't go through some of the growing and learning because of the injury. But, someone that's really a positive person to be around and just, again, another person that has a really high ceiling. Lee is only 25. Ray truly only in her second playing season because that rookie year was injured. Zaya's still really young in this league. So we had a lot of young players and they're just continuing to grow and get better. So excited to watch all their futures. And again, what is underrated is the veterans were in new roles. Dearica's had a great career. Azare's had a great career. They've been on championship teams, but they played secondary roles on those teams. Dearica's had to move into a go-to player role, and to watch her embrace that and have the year that she had for us, is just a true credit for her taking that challenge on and really accepting a new role that she hasn't been in for most of her career.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach. Just after, the losses this season where you guys, were unable to, get past the finish line, what does it do heading into the offseason to have this moment to build off of?
Yeah, the locker room was incredible. I've been in so many locker rooms in this league that it's just painful when the season ends. I've lost some brutal, game 5s in championship and semifinals, but our locker room, we're going to be one of the few teams that ends the season on a win. I don't know if any of the other non-playoff teams won tonight. But, just it gives us kind of energy going into the off season. The amount of positive talk by players in the locker room after the game, I haven't been a part of in a long time. And so, really, really excited. And, we ask our fan base to continue to be patient as we build, but we got a special locker room of people. And I think you win with great character, you win with great people, and that locker room is filled with those type of players.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt.
Thank you.
Hey, we just heard from Coach. We just heard from Kia Nurse and Rakia Jackson talking about this win, this season. Just from what we heard, taken away from Coach, it just seems like, he's excited, ready for this offseason because he knows that there's some big things coming up this season. But just looking at his body of work this season or this team period, what was your thoughts on the season for the LA Sparks?
I thought it was cool. It was fun to watch. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm tough. Like, if the season ain't going well and it's boring, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think I really enjoyed this season, and I told Reagan and Coach that a few times when I talked to him personally. I said, hey, I'm really enjoying this season. I see what you guys are building, and I think the future is bright for you guys.
And, what's crazy is for most teams that are the worst record, the most losses ever in a WNBA season, you're going to see a bunch of blowouts on that schedule. But with the Sparks, they have so many
close games
that were close losses.
It could have been a pass or a shot
free throw maybe been missed, a missed steal that should have happened. Just a little of things, maybe you could have turned things around. But that's why if you can get a talent like a Paige Beckers, add some other pieces that they are right there. It's only, 12 teams in the league. So to be number 12, you can easily go from 12 to 6. We see what the Indiana Fever has been able to do with Caitlin Clark and the players there. So for Sparks fans, you are not far off from seeing a winner. Still believe you got Rakia, who's a piece. Cameron Brink, at the very least, is going to be a great defensive player for her career. Then you hopefully get the first overall pick. Dearica, all of these different weapons that they can build with this team. And you have Kurt Miller, a guy who has won, a guy who knows how to build a winner. And it's Los Angeles. I'm pretty sure they're going to get some free agents that want to come here as they see this team is fun and see the fun that they had in the losing season. Just imagine if they're winning. So it's going to be some exciting times. So we got to talk about this final game. We always leave out with a player of the game. Who do you guys, your player of the game for this Sparks win?
Obviously, I got Rakia.
Okay.
I love the way that she stepped up tonight. She kind of let everybody know I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I thought these last couple games, really second half of the season, she let teams know, like, hey, I'm here. And, like I said, I've been seeing the vets pass her. They're looking for her to score now. Like, hey, so what Rakia did tonight, I think, I forgot how many points she had. But
19 points.
19 points. I got to give it to Rakia.
Okay, I'm going to go with Dearica, who finished her season strong. 20 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Like Coach mentioned, it was a brand new role for her. She's so used to being a 6th Woman of the Year, somebody that's a supportive player, where this year was like, you got the keys, you are our best player, let's go. And she started the season smoking hot. She was Mrs. Double-Double for a lot of that time. And then, she went through a patch by, going to the Olympics, winning a bronze medal. But she still came back, was able to finish strong to get that record to top the great Lisa Leslie. That is dope. So she is my player of the game in their final game. But just looking ahead, man, the Sparks, you got some pieces coming back. You got Azare, you got Cameron, you got Rakia, you got Ray Burrell, who's going to be under contract, Stephanie Talbot. Ari McDonald is a restricted free agent, so they can still bring her back. Zaya Cook, Dearica, Lasia, Lexi. You have Lee is going to be back. And Julie Allman, who GM Reagan has big praise for that they believe can be an asset. And then if you can get this first overall pick, it could be some good time, Sparks fans. Don't go away. Don't go too far. Get ready, because the Sparks are coming next year, and they are going to be ready to go and ready to try to pick up a bunch of wins for you. From me, my guy Kahari, and DJ, who wasn't in tonight, you know we got more for you. Be on the lookout. We're going to have our season-ending round table where we're going to talk about everything Sparks with some of your favorite journalists who cover the team. But, hey, you guys have a good night. Sparks got the win, baby. So go Sparks!
Yeah.